We could do anything. But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?
Welcome to A-Train Bets. I'm the A-Train, and I make bets. And today, we're going to take a little bit of a departure from the actual betting process, and we're going to actually look at crypto. Because when you use offshore sports books, crypto is often the easiest way to move money freely between them. And it's something that a lot of people just don't have a ton of experience with. So I'm going to walk you through what I use, how I do it. I'm not here to say that I'm a crypto expert by any means, but I am able to move money with crypto when necessary. I generally don't hold crypto. I just will move it from my bank account to a crypto wallet to the sports book, and then between sports books a lot of the time or what have you. So I'll bounce it to the wallet and then back out. So I'll give you a little bit of an intro. There's a lot of other videos that will cover in much greater detail how to do all of this, but I at least wanted to give you, from my perspective, the key things you need to know as a sharp sports bettor who's not looking to make tons of money on crypto or anything. How do you navigate this and do this easily? Now, the one thing I will tell you is that you want to be very careful about the terms of service that you choose to use with whatever crypto wallet you use. And so a crypto wallet can take a couple of different forms. One kind is something like a Coinbase, which is all on the internet, and they kind of are a custodian for you in all aspects, and everything is just stored there. Whereas I prefer to use a local wallet that also can be restored. And so I use a tool called Exodus. And so let's bring that up, and we're going to look at the Exodus website. I'll keep my face on here for now, but what you'll see here is Exodus. It's exodus.com. You can see that poking in from behind me. And what this is it's a wallet that is effectively stored on your desktop or on your phone. They have a mobile app. They have apps for Windows and for Mac at least. And again, we're not trying to be super experts here, so I imagine that covers pretty much everybody, the Android and iPhone devices, as well as Windows and Mac. You can use any of them. I actually use all three, Windows, mobile, and Mac, and they are exchangeable. So what's nice is that Exodus will keep track of it all, but then the wallet actually exists on your desktop. So they're kind of a good backup, but the wallet is more localized. So it's a nice mix between the service provider and a truly only stored locally wallets, because this will, if you had a computer crash, you could restore it and things like that. So if you follow their instructions on how to do that, that will certainly serve you well. Now, what you will do is when you go to exodus.com, you can go to the download, and again, you can do this for whichever version you like. It's a great interface. It's almost too smooth in a lot of ways, I think, and I'll show you the interface. We'll actually do a quick deposit over to Bovada on this video, so you can actually walk through it. So you download the app, right? You download the app and you get it ready to go. And so once you've installed it and set up your account, I'm not going to walk through that whole process with you because frankly, I've already done it and it's just like setting up an account anywhere else, but you're going to end up in an application that's going to look something like this. So I'm actually going to bring it up here and show you. This is kind of the home page. Now, right now, I just have $17 in Bitcoin. I'd recommend just use Bitcoin. That's the easiest one. Everybody accepts it. You get the highest bonuses and all of that. Typically, that's fine. And so now I have this. There's different selections you can make up at the top. So what you can do here is the portfolio is just going to show you all of the different holdings that you have. Again, I don't keep much in this wallet. I use it basically just to transfer funds. But right now I have a little bit of a rounding, and you'll typically have that because you're going to have, a processor fee, and you're going to have slightly different versions of how much Bitcoin is worth at any given time. So it's not uncommon to have a little bit just left over after you've done a transaction. So what I do here, if you go to the wallet, this is where you'll actually send that Bitcoin to somewhere or receive Bitcoin from a place. We'll cover that in a minute. What you're going to want to do, and swap, this is something that you don't really need to worry about if you're just doing this for sharp sports betting. It's not something that is really necessary. It's about how you're switching between different digital coins and virtual coins. It's not really the key. What you want is what's called fiat on-ramp, which is a little bit more fancy words than what you really need. But fiat currency is what you have typically with like US dollars. So what you would do here is you could pick what you want to have deposited. And so you'll set up a what'll be called a payment processor, just like you would do, think of it like a PayPal, right? And so you'll see these different payment processors. You have Sardine, but you can also select different ones. And so like I've used MoonPay in the past. I've used Sardine. I've not used this ramp. I don't know what that is, but what I do have is a MoonPay and a Sardine account. I actually made the mistake. I had MoonPay set up previously, and then I didn't realize that I was going to need to set up Sardine. One thing to keep in mind is the first time you do this, you might have to wait a few days. And it's not unreasonable, because if you think about how these payment processors work, is that they're going to be extracting funds from your debit card or credit card or something like that, and they have to wait for that to clear, especially the first time, to know that you're not going to do like a reverse transaction on them and then you'll have the Bitcoin, but then they won't be able to do anything about it, because these are very secure. It's like handing over cash is what you really need to think about this as, is it's not like the kind of some of the online transactions. It's really digital currency. So once you hand over that $100 bill, good luck at getting it back from that person who just ran around the corner, so it's kind of like that, which makes it a little bit scary, right? And so, but you have to understand, like, there are some key protections here that if you do it right, you'll be able to have no problem transacting with this. And so what you'll do is you'll come in and say, okay, I want $100, I want $1,000, or maybe different limits or what have you. They'll give you the, exchange rate and all of that. And all you'll do is you'll come in here and you'll say, okay, I want to get $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. So you put it in here, you've selected your payment processor, and then you can hit continue and it'll go from there. You can also type in, okay, maybe I want 0.02 Bitcoin, whatever that's going to be worth. And they're like, that's worth $979. That's fine. The other thing to keep in mind too, is that you're going to want to get a little bit more than whatever the bonus is that you're going for when you're going to deposit to an offshore sportsbook, because there's going to be some payment processor fees. I think they're too high, frankly. When I tried to move, $1,000, the fee might've been all in, $40-$50, which is pretty high in my opinion, but got to keep in mind, you're doing this because you're a sharp sports bettor and you're going to be making money there. So the transaction costs, while a little bit of a pain, may be worth it, given that you may get 125% bonus or a 50% bonus for depositing with the Bitcoin or other digital currency. So it's safer for the book because they're going to have that cash as soon as they do, and they'll give you an extra bonus for that. So you have to decide as you're doing it whether or not it all makes economic sense to get the bonus that you want at that offshore book. So you're going to go in and you deposit that. When you get back, when you're done with that, you're going to end up back here on your home page, and eventually that money is going to come in. And so what we're going to do here is that money is going to come in, and it's going to come in usually fairly quickly, unless it's your first time with that particular payment processor. And then you're just going to have to factor in, you're going to have to wait a couple days. It's how it is. They're very trustworthy from that perspective, and you will get your money. But when you're buying it through this wallet app, what you didn't see there is that you don't have to like copy and paste a wallet ID or anything like that. That's not part of this. You don't have to worry about that. But you do when you're going to send money, because obviously Exodus is just a wallet. Effectively, it's a virtual wallet, and it needs to know, where am I going to send that money to? So I'm going to walk you through this process. And all of the books are very similar. Each one's got its own little idiosyncrasies or what have you. But I at least want to show you, here's what it's like to actually fund something at a place like Bovada with that kind of mechanism. So in this case, what we're going to do, normally I don't show the balances and all of that, but here I'm going to bring this window into this screen so it's full screen and it's not hiding anything. So you can see right now I have a balance at Bovada of $344.51, right? So I want to add a little bit of money to this. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and I'm going to go to my deposit screen, and I am going to select Bitcoin, and it's going to say, all right, no bonuses at the moment. That's fine. And that is what we need here is, and they're going to have different walkthroughs or whatever, but you don't need that. You have this, you have my video. But what you need to do, all you have to do here is to copy on this Bitcoin wallet address. And this is where I'm going to send my money to it. And so this is just a alphanumeric long code, and it's only one-time use. So if you see this, I'll hide part of it, but it doesn't really matter because you won't be able to use it again anyway. And so they've locked in my price All I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my Exodus, and I'm going to say, now I want to go to my wallet and I want to send some Bitcoin. So in this case, I'm going to select, I want to do 10 US dollars, right? I'm going to send 10 US dollars and I'm going to paste in that address that I just copied from Bovada. I'm going to hit send and it says, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, dude, that's cool. Let's do it. So it's sending it. And now that Bitcoin's on the way. And so you'll see I now only have $6 because there was a little bit of a transaction fee with that. You can see in your log, you have sent a few seconds ago, sent that Bitcoin to the wallet. And now if I go back and let me bring back up Bovada, if I bring Bovada back up, we're going to see, okay, your funds were successfully deposited. I'm going to hit continue. And I'm guessing within a moment, we're going to see, sure enough, we're now up to 354.51. So that's all it takes. So transacting with the Bitcoin, very straightforward. You just copy in that address, and all that address is a unique identifier that when Bovada receives Bitcoin from anywhere, really, it doesn't need to know what your wallet address is ahead of time or anything. I just copy that in and say, send that money over to Bovada. It's a little scary because it's like handing over cash, but it's not that scary because it's, it's a very secure transaction, probably even more secure than when you're sending money under normal circumstances. That's how strong Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies are when it comes to doing those transactions. There's a whole thing around blockchain and all of that, but that's the key. And so if I go back into my Exodus, you can see, all right, now I have $6 left. And really, I didn't care to just do $10 at Bovada, but it was more for the, being able to walk you through, here's what it actually takes to do that kind of transaction. I thought it was worthwhile to point that out and show you, here's what it actually is. And so with that, hopefully you find it's a little bit less intimidating going forward to use cryptocurrency to fund offshore books if you like to. And again, there's a lot of other kinds of wallets. There's a lot of other kinds of services, but be careful on some of those hosted services. They may prohibit gambling activities. So that's something you want to be careful to read and understand. But use whatever is convenient and useful for you. If you find other videos on YouTube about different kinds of wallets or what have you, that is certainly a good option. But I did a lot of research when I first used cryptocurrency, and a lot of the recommendations were like, Exodus, pretty good, and it's pretty easy to use. And I found that to be the case, pretty transparent and certainly relatively fast on how you are able to do transactions. So with that, if you find this content useful, please like and subscribe to the channel, as well as check out my live streams, 7:30 a.m. and 4 o'clock p.m. Central Time. And we're doing live streams where I'm placing my bets and showing you how to do data-driven sports betting. It's really all about the math. And so I try to help you learn how to do that. Please consider, if you're going to sign up for OddsJam, use my link at atrainbetsoddsjam.com, or you can find that link at atrainbets.com as well. And use my promo code atrainbets, and you can save 20% off for life on your OddsJam subscription. I also have a Patreon page, which is certainly a great way to support my efforts as well. So with that, thank you all so much. Best of luck with crypto, and we will see you on the live streams and make some money with your offshore books that you can now fund with crypto.